Welcome everyone to today's Fertility Q&A Wednesday with a special guest, Lucia, whom you've already familiarised yourselves with because of her beautiful heartfelt story where she overcame more than a decade of trying, and now she's got her beautiful, and I really do mean beautiful, girls.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I think we are all on. I've got ladies joining me on this side. We've got Fiona, you've got your lovely ladies. So if I'm not looking at the camera, it's not because I'm weird, but because it's so many. We've got 2 cameras, but I'm going to talk to you guys because this is very big privilege. First of all, I want to say that I can be here with you, and I just want to say, wherever you are on your journey, I'm here really open and available to answer any questions. It's not that I know everything, absolutely not, but whether I can do or say or share or together with Fiona, if we can contribute in any kind of way, we are totally here for you. So please fire on with the questions and anything that you might be interested about. I'm here for you, and thank you so much for inviting me, Fiona.
My pleasure. So I'll hand the mic over, ladies. Dive on in and ask any question that you like.
Hi, Lucia. I just wanted to ask you, I just really loved your story. I just wanted to ask you if there was anything in particular health-wise that you found was really helpful in your journey, or any like foods or supplements that you thought made a big difference.
So you're asking about health-wise or supplement-wise, whether anything was specifically helped me on this journey?
Yeah.
Understand, right? Yes, good. So I will be always very, very honest with you guys. I will say it as it is, okay? I won't fluff it up. It's been 11 years journey, Jamie, and you can imagine I tried so much. You name it, from Chinese medicine to some crazy South African voodoo stuff. I mean, I probably can't even count. It was a lot of things. So to answer your question in very honest way, I think everything, all the supplements, and from very basic vitamin C and folic acid and all those things that are very obvious to us ladies on a journey towards the motherhood, I think it all played a part. And I will never be able to tell what actually helped me the most. It was probably the combination of things. Actually, I'm drinking even now. One thing that helps me is greens, me personally, but I know everybody is different. But I still, even through the pregnancy and even now breastfeeding and later on, greens in general help me, and I'm still drinking it. I can't actually pinpoint one product or one thing that helped me, but one thing that I will say, at the very beginning of my journey, very similar to many of us, I was, thinking of how to eat well, how to, nourish myself, what's wrong with my body, that kind of thing. But it didn't cross my mind. I didn't pay so much attention at the very beginning to actual, mind. And and I was going to doctors and tests and that test and other tests, and the more I was trying to do and Google, the more kind of I was a little bit drifting apart, because I was desperately trying to seek that one thing that is going to help me, save me, whatever, make a difference. But actually then I realized that yes, there are some great things, and by all means, absolutely, support yourself, your health, with whatever works for you. There is no one thing for all. Just listening to your body and tune in whatever you feel that is making, really difference to your energy levels and so on. But from my experience, what I would say that 90%, no kidding, of my journey, it was actually my head and whatever was going on in there, that actually I personally believe and think made a lot of difference. I can say more about it if you guys have specific questions. I'm not sure if this answered your question, Jamie.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think
Kind
because I think you're saying that you were kind of doing so much and kind of overthinking like what exactly you had to do, and then that became trying too hard, and then you kind of let it go and you were able to have your twins.
Yeah. Well, you got it. I think you got it, because we are so prone to like get caught with Googling, searching, and the more desperate I was getting, coincidentally, we've been talking about this just before the streaming, Fiona, right?
Yeah.
Like the more desperate we get with Google, and that's not just fertility journey, but I think any situation in life, right? The more we are kind of putting this, we are in this survival, and we are putting more and more pressure on ourselves, and actually we are pushing the actual thing that we really want away from us. And this took me a while to discover.
Thank you.
And I like what you said as well, Lucia, how you were combining everything, and it wasn't just diet. Even though diet does play a role, it's the 5 pillars that we always speak of. It's the mind, it's the emotions, it's the nutrition, it's how your body detoxifies, it's managing your stress and the ability to let go and activating that inner self-love and self-confidence and self-belief. And when you do all of that at the same time, it works. That's when you get that shift.
I love the concept that Fiona is often also talking about, like moving not only body, but mind, and body is then connected with mind from that space of survival of all sorts. It's not just body survival, it's our mind, it's our immune system, and so on. It's all connected. From surviving to thriving. I love that concept. And I think that's very, very simplistically put the fertility journey. Am I right, Fiona?
Yes, definitely. And like we were saying before we went live, when you're in that survival mode, you're in fight or flight, you're so stressed, and that's not fertility mode. We need to put you in that state of abundance. So have that level of security, and then you rise up into that higher level of vibration, which is about thriving. Nature, if nature's battling to survive, it's not going to thrive. And that's, we are nature, we are natural human beings. And whether you choose assisted fertility or not, we are actually more related to assisted fertility than we realize. Humans came about, we were test tube babies, basically. And so it's more natural than we realize. We've just been hardwired to believe that everything has to be a certain way. And actually, when you understand more, and we are multidimensional, and that what we think, what we feel, what we believe actually impacts us a lot. And yes, we're natural to this extent that we need natural foods. And I think that's always the way to answer, what's the best fertility diet? It's whole, natural, superfoods, organic foods. This is what you need to thrive. So it's all about putting you into better energy management. That's the ingredient, I feel, which is the best for fertility.
Great. I hope that helped. I want to add anything. I want to give you guys space for questions. I'm looking at you guys as well. Fire on with any questions. I'll just join in.
Hi, Lucia.
Go
ahead.
No, carry on, Bonnie. Hi. Thinking of you this morning, actually. So yeah, so it's nice to see you.
You too.
I'll let you go. Yeah.
No, go ahead. You got the floor. I'll wait.
Okay. Thank you. Hi there. Yeah, just to say, Lucia, your story is amazing, and yeah, sorry, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. I didn't realise that was going to happen. Sorry, I don't know where this has come from. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of what actually even why that's just happened. Yeah. So when I listened to your story, there was so much of it that actually did bring up some tears, because it made me realise I was on the right tracks.
Beautiful.
I didn't realise this was going to happen, so you have to excuse me. yeah, yeah, there was parts of the story that just made me sort of realise that I'm on the right tracks, and yeah, it was really heartwarming. So I firstly just wanted to say that, because it just made me know that when these emotions come up, that they're there to clear. So that's, I think for me, a lot of it is to do with the mind as well, and healing and clearing a few things that come up occasionally. So was there anything in particular that you used for the mind? Was it meditations, and or just as it came up, you just sort of healed it as and when it sort of came up, through crying and feeling it? Does that question make any sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lauren, first of all, my heart is beating so fast and so hard, and it's for you, because I want to jump through the screen and really give you a big hug. I know exactly what you feel. Don't ever apologize for crying. This is one of the things that I learned. They used to call me water goddess because I cried so much. And first I was embarrassed about it, and I was proud about it, because that's what makes you human being. So don't ever apologize for it. And thank you so much for being who you are, okay? And for being extremely brave to share so vulnerably, okay? This is perfect. I can't even tell you how much, okay? And you are on the right path, by the way.
Thank you.
Well on your way.
I'm just surprised that they just come up like that. I don't know where they come from. I've had a great morning, but yeah, they're happy tears.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it fully. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Answer to your question. Sometimes, guys, I will close my eyes so I can really, really like connect with what is authentic, okay? So it's not that I don't want to be with you. I actually am this way, being with you even more. It was a lot of work on my mind, and from the very beginning, I was asking a question: what is this journey supposed to teach me? How can I use it as the greatest gift of my life, regardless of whether baby is at the end of this journey or not? You know, so as soon as I stopped asking myself a question, why me? What's wrong with me? You know, which is natural questions we ask. What's wrong with my body? Why he's got a baby and I can't? Yeah, these are very natural questions. But so I suppose the first thing was that I started asking myself a new question, new powerful question that created a space in which the learning took place. Does that make sense so far?
Absolutely, because I have just recently been asking, there's a gift in this, and I want to share it. So I've already started asking that question, that like why sort of me? Well, not why me, not even why me actually. There is a gift in here, and I'm going to share it with everybody. That's how I'm feeling.
Fantastic.
So this has been actually when I've been feeling from that I'm on the right track, especially from when I heard your story a couple of weeks ago. I even messaged Fiona and said that some of the things that had popped up, and that I felt that I was definitely healing stuff that I knew was always there, but wasn't really either coming up at that time or knew that it even needed healing. And then recently as well, I've been getting excited, that feeling I'm going to share all my lessons and everything I'm learning with other people, or that there is a gift. I'm not quite entirely sure what the gift is at the moment, but there definitely is a gift in it. And I'm realizing my other gifts from past sort of not past life, not past life, sorry, recent, you know, in the past. So when I was in sort of an emotional sort of abusive relationship, more emotional really, and harassed and stalked, I realised I had a gift from that, and I ended up working actually with in domestic abuse, helping ladies in that situation. And I no longer do that now. I now look after the elderly. But that was my gift then, and I gave that to the world. So I know that there is a gift in this, and that's been popping up for me more recently. So yeah, I'm really pleased that you said that. So thank you. Yeah.
Beautiful. And maybe what might serve you, if I'm a little bit more specific, I promise that will be open. One of the things that I was looking at and that was coming up was stuff from my past. And I give you just one of examples. It was many of them. It's what I call like kind of blind spots. Something is not working in your life and you don't know what it is. You can't put a finger on it, but it's messing up whatever it is. It's not just fertility, it can be relationship, anything. And it's mainly relationship towards yourself, which is the most important relationship we have. And for me, it was my mom. I absolutely love my mom dearly, and she is now we have a very beautiful, intimate relationship, but it hasn't been that way always. And to be more specific, you know, I think big part of my journey was actually healing relationship with my own mom. And what I discovered is I had programs. We all have certain programs from the childhood, and I had a program from my mom, and she very often used to say, even when I was a teenager, you know, you can't have a children because you're too selfish to have them. Now that came from you know, certain dynamics in our family. I won't go into details, not to take too much time, but when I started realizing how come my mom decided I'm selfish when I was 3 years old, not only selfish but other connotations that actually, you know, became almost like my identity subconsciously. Now, funnily enough, I was compensating for it. So I became the, you know, I think those people who know me, I work with people, and, you know, I'm probably one of the least selfish people many people meet, and also, you know, lazy. I become very, very, very busy and very successful thanks to my mom, because I was so trying to prove her wrong all my life. That I actually became very successful. But what it cost me was my well-being. You see, like what it cost me was my, you know, I had numerous burnouts, and of course my body was not in a state to conceive. Plus my mind didn't believe I deserved to be a mom, because if your own mom doesn't believe that you should be a mother, then there is some work to be done to rewire this whole setup. Are you with me?
Absolutely, yeah. I am, yes, because again, I've reached out to Fiona about some things that have been coming up in, I think they're in my subconscious mind, and some of them were to do with my mum, and I've never really been able to be open with it because my mum's passed on, and I've always felt like I didn't want to talk or bring things up with somebody that has passed away. So yeah, we're going to be doing that healing, Fiona and I, actually together. So yeah, so it's interesting that you've mentioned your mum, because there were some things that I think maybe are stuck in my mind. I can't even think of them at the moment. I wrote them down, but there was a couple of things, like even maybe along the lines of, because she had 4 of us, so, oh, you know, it's quite hard, it's not easy. And sometimes when she was like, oh, who'd have kids, but these are all things that she said. She never really meant them as such, but they were there. And also I have done a little bit of inner work on my younger self, because also when I was really younger, I actually felt, because my parents were older, you see, So, which is, I think, a major blockage. I've got two older brothers, and older brother and sister. But me and my younger brother are we're the youngest. But my mum had me at 33 and my brother at 36. Now, back then, that was quite old. And yeah, back then that was quite old. And my sister was 8 years difference to me. And so there was 4 of us. And when I was younger, I couldn't even see myself in the mirror. I was a little bit embarrassed because my parents were older. Not that they did anything wrong at all. They were, you know, amazing, but I was a little bit embarrassed. This is child thing, because they were older. And I actually, there was a one point where I actually thought that they were selfish for having 4 children. Maybe I couldn't get my own way or something. I don't even know why. I can't think, but it's there. And yeah, the embarrassment because they were a bit older, that was there too. So I don't feel like that anymore now. Sadly, my mum has passed, but my dad is like one of my best friends. He's just amazing. That isn't there, but maybe it is somewhere on this little girl that I need to heal. So there is stuff and comments that maybe I'd sponged from when I was younger. And it's very interesting that you mentioned your mum, because they are some of the comments.
Sharing that, Lauren. And you see, I mean, this is wonderful that you're already discovering these things. You're already starting, you know, working on it. You've got the support. Support is very important, because if we are not being supported, we, as a human beings, we get stuck in a same old thinking, and these blind spots, we have no chance to. I think it's really, really great that you are being supported. So, and by the way, we all have a crap from the past, you know. I mean, somebody that, somebody somebody a little bit more, somebody, you know, it's different variations of it. So, and just few of us are aware of it and actually brave enough to have a look, because we really need to kind of look at the, you know, dirty side of whatever happened in the past, and not many people got the courage. So, you know, well done to you, and really I salute you, Lauren, for your bravery and courage. And by the way, you know, it is a gift for us being on this journey for a long time, because we have opportunity to clear up a lot of stuff that we would have to do being a mom's. And if we do it beforehand, baby comes as a bonus, you know, the whole motherhood. I'm experiencing it now with girls. I mean, of course, I'm still learning, I'm still discovering, it's, you know, it's ongoing journey. But the truth is, if we do quite a lot of work beforehand, and by the way, we don't have to be perfect to deserve to be moms. Yeah, it's just a certain amount of journey that is actually real blessing to enter into even pregnancy and then motherhood later on, with that level of awareness and that level of appreciation for human life. And then so that's a good news that you know, I mean, every mom is the greatest mom, but us having this gift of having opportunity to, you know, kind of become the best possible version of ourselves as a women and as a moms, that makes the whole experience of motherhood a million times more powerful and beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. So thank you. You have really answered my question, and I think I'm doing all of it. So yeah, that's lovely. Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you.
Hi, Lucia. How are you?
Hi, Brownie. Hi.
It's so nice to meet you this way, and I absolutely loved and adored listening to your story, and I resonated so much with it, and it was just very, very heartfelt and really beautiful. And I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you have your beautiful angels, and you're inspiring all of us now, all the more.
And thank you, because I know it's, to say this genuinely when you are still on your journey, and to say it honestly, it takes a big person to actually wish well for somebody who already have a baby, if you know what I mean. So I thank you for wishing me well. If I'm honest, girls, can I say something just to lighten it up? You know, I had a period on my journey, and hands up, when I saw pregnant woman, and I was thinking, can I swear, Fiona?
Yes, of course you can.
Yeah, thank you. I was thinking, another pregnant bitch, you know. So, you know, all salute. I just want to be real, girls. You know, we are all going through the stages of all sorts of thoughts and jealousy and anger and frustration, and then we come back to love, and it goes like that. And I just want to tell you, and that's why I'm sharing this, it's all normal. You're a human being. Please don't try to be perfect to deserve to be a mom. Even if you're a drug addict, you deserve to be mom, but none of you are. I mean, you are one of the most amazing, wonderful, and, you know, I salute every single woman who is on this journey towards motherhood, because, you know, it is one of the most challenging journey person can be on, or woman can be on. I do believe that. Sorry, I just wanted to put that in, and now, Brownie, it's all yours.
No, it's beautiful. Thank you for that. I actually look at it in such a beautiful way when I see other women that are pregnant, and I think, well, if they can do it, I can do it just as well. And sometimes I think, you know, it's a sign. I actually just found out my cousin is pregnant, and oh my God, him and his wife, they're so young, and they just got married maybe a year ago. And I go, okay, you know, it's a blessing. And then my neighbor just found out she's pregnant. So I said, oh, okay, so it's getting closer. And I'm trying to look at it in a very, not trying, I'm looking at a very positive way. I think it's wonderful to see that around, you know.
Brilliant. That's so
Yeah.
good. That's so good, Bonnie, to have that heartfelt, genuine happiness, to know that, oh, I'm next. Like, it's happening now. It's all around me.
Exactly. So the energy, to me, it's just getting closer and closer. And it's very exciting. And I just love that, you know, and seeing women that are pregnant, it's just so beautiful, you know, at all the different stages. And I look at them and I just adore them. And I say, wow, I can't wait to be like that. It's going to be so exciting, you know, even buying new clothing and all of that and all that wonderful stuff that you get to do and be a mom, you know, just beautiful, beautiful. So Lucia, I'm just curious. I don't know if you were specific in the video, but did you eventually become pregnant through just natural, or was it through IVF? Definitely.
Yeah.
Through IVF.
Yeah. So at the end, it was my 4th IVF. I technically, yeah, I never got pregnant naturally. This never happened to us in 11 years. And yeah, it was 4 rounds of IVF.
Okay.
So it was 4th one.
Yeah.
And I think it was last.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. And you know, it's just wonderful that there's the other options for women, you know, these days. I haven't got to a place yet that I'm that comfortable with it. But I think I might be getting to the point. It's been years of trying. So I don't know if that's something that.
Brownie, how long you've been trying, guys?
For me, it's
you are?
almost 4 years, and I just turned 50, so I'm in a little bit of a different bracket, you know. But I truly believe in my heart and soul, from the moment way before I met Fiona and all the more now, that I can do this on my own naturally. I just have a very, very, very powerful, strong feeling, and I would love one day to make my own video, as you have, and say, hey, you can do this, and it's all possible. And I would love to be able to share that one day. So that's kind of my goal. I just don't know if I'm missing a window. Is there something else I should be doing on that level? That's, I guess, where I get a little, am I not giving it all? Am I not doing it all? And I've done so much in my journey of the cleansing and the food and all of that, because I had different challenges, as you did. I was very abused in different relationships in my life, and it brought other things into my world. And I have to give you so many thumbs up and kudos for your journey and sharing that with all of us, because I know that's not easy. That's something that I've wanted to do with my journey as well, to share that. I will share that I had some issues with my own body as far as in the cervical area and things like that. And I refused to listen to the doctors. I said, no, you're not cutting my body. You're not touching me. I'm not doing it. And I healed my own body. And then they told me I was crazy and maybe I just got lucky, but every time I went and had tests done over and over and over and over and over, I kept getting the same results. So they changed a little bit. And then eventually they said, look, this is what you have to do. And if you want a baby one day, you have to do this. And they scared me. And I said, no, no, I don't believe you. And I'm so thankful that I didn't listen, because I was able to heal myself. And all these years later, I'm not good. I'm fine and healthy and everything is wonderful. And so that was a miracle for me to be able to have that happen, you know, and it was through meditation and working through my mind and just knowing one day everything would be okay. So
unbelievable. And I do want you to share the story, and absolutely you can be contribution to so many, so many. I you know, we all have our own kind of it is very different. We all have our own journey and the view on things, and IVF and so on. I mean, I remember like first few years, it was also like for me, like, you know, it will happen, it will happen, it will happen. And then, you know, after 5 years, it wasn't happening. And after 6 years, it wasn't happening. And then I think after about 7 years, I finally kind of started considering IVF. That was kind of my thing. And I must admit, at the very beginning, I was like, even my husband, we've been like, oh my God, like, what are we doing here? You know, this feels so unnatural and horrible. And then I went from that little thought through the period of, oh God, and then obviously injections and whole la about it. It's a long process. To actually, you know, seeing IVF as something incredibly beautiful. Now, this might sound really weird, okay, but of course it was process, but that mind shift, I still remember it, because, you know, a lot of people's got a views on IVF, and some people got a strong, you know, views about like, how dare you, you know, messing up with God and that kind of thing, right? But at the end of the day, you know, from my perspective and how I understand it is like, well, God guides anything anyway, you know, so if he wants the IVF to be successful, it will be successful. If not, and he thinks that you need some more lessons, then he will give you more lessons, right?
I totally agree. And the doctors, the things that they have to do, the procedures, that's all through God, I feel like, as well, you know. Why not?
Yeah, and it's really about mindset. And I done some crazy things, you know, like on my IVF journey, because first I was like, felt like I'm being treated as a number. And for those of you who are going through IVF or considering it, maybe, or went through IVF at some point, like you maybe can relate, you know. And I didn't like to feel like a number, because this was all my life depended on this thing, right? At the time, you're very attached, of course, to the result. And you know, and I had you know, conversations and enrollment conversations, as I call them, with the nurses, saying, please, you know, can you just, you know, I was like crying there a lot, and I started getting to know a lot of nurses and a lot of doctors, and, you know, it almost became my home, like after some time, this the clinic where I done third rounds. But what I'm really trying to say is that you know, one of the crazy things that I've done, I went to lab, you know, and they don't normally let you to see your embryo, right? Because it's like 2,000 women trying to conceive in the same clinic. And I said, I know this, you know, at reception, I know this is like really crazy question, but can I go and see my little embryo? And they said, well, we've never seen the request like this. And I said, can I? Yeah, and they said, no, we can't actually allow you to go there because they are busy and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, never mind. And can I at least just see and meet person who is looking after my embryo? And girls, honestly, this is girls, and it's true. I'm like laughing myself. And I said, well, we can do that. So this lady came out of this lab, and I remember her looking like an angel. And I literally started crying. I gave her a hug. And I said, really? You are looking after my little embryo? I'm so happy you look like Angel. Like Angel is looking after my little baby. And this might sound crazy, girls, but for those of you who know what I'm going through, you know, you can relate. And the thing is, you do absolutely anything and everything to get through the journey. And from that experience, I realized that any journey, including IVF journey, can be the most beautiful, personal, powerful, you name it. And then I realized, do you know what? If this baby will ever be conceived and it will come to life, isn't it wonderful that not only that I have opportunity to have another chance other than natural way, but also it will be thousands of people who've been standing behind me, whether it's healers, nurses, doctors, you know, family, people I've been sharing on a you know, Facebook Live very bravely my whole journey, 2 rounds of IVF. You know, there was thousands of people who've been like this, you know, to me. And I said, this baby is going to be baby of all of us. And if I'm not on this journey, these 11 years, it would be just naturally popped baby, which is also very, very cool. But, you know, and that's when I started seeing this IVF journey as a, wow, you know, like this is not just about me and my baby, but this is, I am going to empower with this great news so many people. And I really did take my time in between breastfeedings, you know, to thank all the people who've been part of this journey, and really heartfelt thanks, and thanking them personally how much difference they made in my life. And, you know, the impact and ripple effect was huge. So I just want to say it really is how we perceive something like, even something like IVF, you know, is it natural, is it not? It can be actually the most beautiful thing, because it is a teams and masses of people who are actually, you know, really on board with you, fulfilling your dream. It's very powerful, I think, very beautiful.
Well, I love hearing that. It's so inspirational, because I think some of my resistance is because of, I think, some of the abuse, and then some of the procedures I went through, and just not wanting someone tinkering around, and I don't know, and also just this natural feeling that I can do this. But there's that concern of the resistance as well. But your story just sounds like so much fun, and you made it personal, and going and making it personal, and seeing that person that was caring for your embryo.
Yeah.
I just feel like that was the journey of trusting. You're trusting, and that gave you that faith to know, and that trust that there's somebody that seems to really care, that seemed to you like an angel, you know. And the positive feeling that you got from that, I'm sure helped you along that journey as well. So you weren't just that number anymore. Now you know, you just connected more, like, I know I'm going to be a mom, and it made it more special and more natural, as natural as it possibly could be. Yeah, through that. Yeah. So I encourage anybody to do what you did. That's awesome. I think I would do the same thing. It's really beautiful.
And the messages have come through as well for you to say that. So inspirational to hear, Lucia. That really needed to be heard. So thank you.
Thank you. And you are never a number. It's your story, girls. And just trust that whatever stage you are in, whatever everything is, but first of all, you are whole and perfect just the way you are. And your story and all the sequence and everything that happened in your life in the past led you to this point. And there is no coincidence why you're on the journey. And maybe one of the very important things that I will say is that, yes, of course, we all want babies, and that's the ultimate aim. But in one point, I actually genuinely, when there was a third IVF that failed, and I actually had there was a moment after operation it went wrong, and I had internal bleeding, and I was very scared I will die. And in that moment, I kind of asked myself a question, and that was really kind of, you know, do I want this baby so much that I'm willing to put my life for it? And you know, it is a huge journey, and I had no answer to that question. I think the answer was yes from my side. And yes, I obviously survived. And but yes, there was a moment when I was even like, you know, thinking about concept of death and things like that. So it really took me very, very deep, this whole journey. And for that, I'm hugely grateful, because that level of connection with God I felt at that time, and it really taught me humbleness, but at the same time the tremendous power I have as a woman. That is something that is experiential and is not even possible to describe it. So in some ways, the more challenging journey, the more you have a potential to receive, turn it around, and possibly never seen life the same way, in a very, very good way. You know, the sun will always be so much more beautiful ever since. That makes sense.
Yes, makes a lot of sense.
Thank you for listening.
And, you know, there's also been another message in the group saying, I met someone last year who had 3 rounds of IVF. It didn't work. And they had 3 children naturally once they stopped. And a lot of my clients go through this too. It doesn't have to be that one way is the correct way. So some people start off with natural and they go to IVF, which is what you did, Lucia, especially being a yoga teacher. You're very, very natural. And then the other direction as well. IVF's not working. IUI is not working. So they go and they meet me, and then I help them have their babies naturally. Like there's so many other things at play, and there is creator, there is baby's free will, you know, there's just many things to learn as well, so we become better versions of ourselves, so the next generation becomes better. And you are living proof. And I love the fact you're so heartfelt and on this mission to help women not suffer. And we were discussing that this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning when we started messaging each other. It was like, I just don't want women to suffer. This is not a journey for suffering. And that's where I'm coming from too. This is a journey of empowerment. So if you're not feeling empowered, then we need to make sure that you're embracing the tools that empower you. And when you know that you are eating what you like to eat, that gives you energy and sustenance, that you're able to detoxify your mind, your body, and emotional stuff, you know, that plays a huge part. When you can do all these things simultaneously, you will get results. Everyone gets results in the end. It's just when you're ready and when you believe that you're worthy of being ready.
Absolutely. And you know, like I always wanted to have a baby, obviously, and I cannot genuinely say that I reached the point, like some people say, like, oh, once I stopped talking about it or thinking about it, then it happened. It can happen, absolutely, but I never reached that point. So in case anybody is saying to you, once you will, you know, stop thinking about it, it will happen, it's impossible. I mean, for me personally, it was impossible not to think about it, because it's like, you know, try not to think about blue big elephant in your bedroom. It's not gonna happen, is it? But what I did was helped a lot, and it was after probably the biggest breakdown for me, when I started looking at the simplicity of life. And you know, when I just wanted to be happy, like baby or no baby, I just wanted to go back to basics and reconnect with my soul, who I really am, who I was before this long journey of trying for baby started. I tried to, like, when was my life, how was my life before, you know, I just kind of simply wanted to not go back, because you never become that person again, but I was trying to remember, and it's like, what kind of thing. So I bought the roller skates and I started skating again, and I went back to things that I used to love when I was a kid, you know, and you know, and so I started being happy, being me, and doing things that I even forgot I used to like. And that was also a big part of this journey. just going back to nature and just being free.
Exactly. And that's why I encourage everyone, get out in nature and do 3 things a day that bring you joy, that will raise your vibration. And like you say, you don't really stop trying or wanting this baby. It's just making peace with it and then moving to that state of knowing and genuinely knowing, and that you love yourself enough to bring in joy now, because that's the magnet that will draw a baby to you. Joy is the magnet for abundance.
Yeah. And another thing is this worthiness. I don't know if you have more questions. You probably have to go, Fiona. Do we still have a little bit of time, or?
A little bit of time.
Yes, a little bit of time. So I just wanted to, maybe you can say a little bit more, or girls, fire on questions, because I don't want to take up your time. I just want to say this whole thing about worth. Like, I find a lot of women that I speak to and I have a chance to work with, the bottom line, what we come down to underneath all those layers is somehow, and it's very hidden, by the way, it was very hidden for me as well, is like, I'm not worthy of this great gift. And that's something that also helps when we come to the bottom of it. Where did it start? Where is it coming from? All this nonsense. We are all worthy, to have this and more, absolutely everything what we wish for, including the baby. So I think this was also a very big thing on my journey, and what I'm discovering also on the journey of my clients.
So true. So last question, anyone? Who has the last question, or shall we finish there for today? All right.
I want to say thank you to both of you.
You're very welcome.
So thank you so much for bringing this all together and sharing all of this. It's so encouraging, and it's just giving me a whole other viewpoint. Just wonderful. I just love it. More open and more opportunity. So that's great. And just feeling the support. It feels so good. I love it.
Yeah, and I also want to thank you, Lucia, as well. And I encourage all of my clients, like, please write a book, get it out there. There are so many women suffering, and the more people that can just bring it out to the public and put it on that public platform to say, you don't have to suffer alone. We have suffered many different degrees, many different levels, but here we are as women doing this together. We all love each other, all support each other. Let's end suffering and share our tips and inspire others to overcome the pain that many of you have suffered. Like, you suffer when you're trying and nothing happens, or you suffer when you've miscarried, or the trauma that you've had even before you started trying. And all those things are here for healing, and you're not meant to carry this trauma around. So when you get the right support, you will heal. You will be able to be the best version of you, and you don't have to be perfect. You're on track to being this better version, and it's through that intention that baby then picks up your energy, your resonance, and comes through. And like with Lucia, it doesn't have to just be one baby, it can be twins. And your girls, and this is the thing, your girls are not identical twins, and everyone assumes that they are. So just be open and know that whatever nature or the world or life throws at you, you can handle. So here's Lucia, this businesswoman who moved countries and was focusing on maintaining her empire, and then given twins. It's like, whoa. But you can still handle it, and then she still makes so much time to share her story with other people and to nurture other people. So I would love for all of you listening to be able to do that too. When you have your beautiful babies, get your story out there, share it with others, so we can end the suffering and start raising the vibration on this planet.
Please do. And one more thing I will say, guys, when you have a babies, and God, you will have a babies, of course you will, just picture, I used to picture this like, oh my God, and I will tell her or tell him how much all the crazy things Mama was doing in order to for you to come to life, and you will laugh your nuts out, like when she's 18 or he's 18, like, or even earlier. And just imagine what stories you will be able to share with your baby when the baby is here, and when they are in stage to understand how much wanted he or she was. I mean, these babies are really, really miracles. And I do believe that miracles are totally possible for all of us. And of course, girls, I wish you from the bottom of my heart, really, everybody watching, and thank you for listening, I wish you this journey to be the greatest blessing of your life, with the most amazing bonus at the end that is going to be your baby.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Lucia and Fiona. Thank you.
Thank you so
Very
much.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Lots
you.
of blessings to you girls. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Mwah.